Hello, everybody. Welcome to Astrano's podcast. Today we are talking about the sacral energy center, and there's a lot to talk about in this energy center, so we're super excited to unpack it. The next couple months, we're talking all about all of the energy centers, the chakras in the body. So yeah, today we're talking about the sacral, and my name is Grace.
Hello, guys. It's King.
Hi guys, it's Neff. So stoked to be here with you guys. This is a biggie.
All right, here you are.
So what is the sacral? So the sacral governs a lot of different stuff in the body. It governs your sexuality, of course. Most people know it for that. And as well, just for reference, it's the second energy center up from the root. So it goes root, sacral, and then solar. So your sacral's pretty well in your womb area, underneath the navel. You'll find it in that space. And it controls your sexuality, your creational energy, your manifestation power, as well, even how you express yourself in this lifetime. A lot of the times, because of wounding, we become stifled in how we express ourselves and how we receive life. Like maybe it loses its shine, it loses its sparkle, life becomes pretty dull and all of this stuff when we start losing touch with the sacral. So it's really important that we take time to look at how our sexuality, our creativity, our expression of ourself has been stifled and numbed and dulled on this planet. So that's what we want to talk about today initially. So what are some experiences that you guys have had where either a traumatic experience has occurred and you kind of like it shrunk, like your sacral energy shrunk, or you felt that you couldn't express yourself entirely? And how have you been maneuvering, allowing that to come back online and allowing that to rekindle inside of you so you can live your best life?
I like that. Yeah.
So boogie.
Yeah, before I answer that, I want to share how, for the root, it's from 7, so from 0 to 7. The sacral is from 8 to 14, right?
Yes. So it's being developed from 8 to 14.
8 to 14.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so for me, like the things that kind of stifled that energy as a young kid was essentially, when you're exploring that sexuality as a guy, I'm trying to what is this? I'm trying to explore the ladies department, I suppose. And then, it's kind of like in a society where you get shunned or you kind of made fun of for trying to express yourself to women, especially now at this point, because I feel like what that causes for a lot of guys is when you kind of deplete that sexual energy, it kind of hinders other people. Now they have guilt, they have shame of expression, and sexuality is the most beautiful thing. But yeah, I'll let you. So what's your...
Yeah, it's such an awkward age, Like I think for me, just puberty, from 10 to 14, honestly, was super just awkward and weird. And that's when the dullness really sets in, or the conditioning of our environment really starts to dull you out. At that age, you're going to start noticing that in children. So, and then there's the whole, I don't know, you're in elementary school. I played soccer, so I was always with my soccer team traveling at that age too. And there's just so much teenage dynamic and the sexual energy and then the awkwardness of that. And yeah, I don't know, for me, with the sacral chakra, I struggle a lot with astral stuff, is really what comes up for me. The biggest with the sacral chakra is astral attack and astral wounding, that I do know for me personally has bled through a lot into this lifetime. And that's like where the bulk of my traumas come when it comes to the sacral. So I know that like, yeah, like if you guys were in Astrano Regeneration, we teach a lot about the astral stuff. So if you guys don't know what that is, like you have an astral body. When you go to sleep, your astral body is active and can be traveling the astral planes in a different like dimensional plane. And so things can happen there to your astral body, and that can bleed over into your life now because all of those realities and dimensions are just as real as this one. So yeah, a lot of like sexual abuse, a lot of like negative alien stuff. Like I'm not going to probably go into all of it, but yeah, that's kind of like the bulk of my traumas. And then yeah, just the awkwardness of this planet, like like there's so much suppression that when you have that sexual energy coming online, it's so weird. Like how we deal with that. It should just be like this beautiful divine process, and it's totally not. It's so distorted. So
how do you maneuver through that?
Well, I was messed up teenager. That's how I maneuvered through that. Like a lot of like just like whatever emotionless sex that I had. I've got a lot of traumas around that where it's just like it just was emotionless, or it wasn't divine, it wasn't sacred, it wasn't like taught to me in that way. And then the drinking when we're in high school and all of that stuff, like so I have a lot of experiences that I had to work through and like detach myself from those people and like from those experiences, and then re-ramp my perception around like sexuality, like Grace is saying, isn't just about sex, right? But then also like re-ramp my perspective about sex itself, right, with another, and like how divine that process is, and like what energetically is happening through that process is really important. So
so I'm gonna tell you how I maneuver it, and then you share your story. But for me, the way I kind of maneuvered it was tough, you know, in the beginning, especially when you don't have any guidance. And so you suppress that and then, but the thing is, even if you suppress that energy is still there, right? And so it can either leak or explode, and then it turns into like this negative trait. But now the way I maneuver it is just to, you know, paying attention to the body and paying attention to myself, my emotion. And I'm like, how do I feel in this moment? And then sometimes, especially now, whenever, you know, I'm in front of a woman, I'd ask myself, why do I feel like a certain way, like for whatever reason, right? And that's something that I'm still exploring. But what I've figured is it's really the ingrainment of the religion and just society of like, you should do this, all the shoulds and should nots, you know? And so for me, I'm in the process of clearing all of that so that I can fully express myself to my full authenticity without guilt.
Beautiful. I think that's the problem with the world that we live in right now, is that, you know, there's all of these shoulds. Like at a certain age, you're supposed to not be a virgin anymore, or at a certain age, you're supposed to start having feelings about this or not having feelings about that. Like there's so much should and shouldn't, and it really distorts your own self-expression because it is divine, like it's unique to you. Nobody's gonna feel the exact same way you do in your own body and in this world. Like it's such a unique experience. And I think too, it's interesting, like at a certain age that like kind of everybody falls down this like distorted, painful rabbit hole, like kind of at puberty, right? Like everything just kind of changes. For me too, I know like I just got really sad and depressed once I hit like puberty. Like I just felt really like remorseful almost. I don't know why. But I think too, it's like when you look back at all of the generations and all of like, you know, how society has been living for like hundreds and hundreds of years. It's, you know, you get your period as a woman, and it's like, okay, babies, you know, like go get married, go find a man. And it's like, okay, like it's so repressed. It's so like it distinguishes the light of what this sexuality is. And that's a good point one of you made, is that sex and sexuality isn't just that. Like media, society has made it to be some kind of like physical thing, like this demon, like this bad experience. And obviously with porn, like there are horrible things that they use to distort sexuality, to distort the divine, the intimacy,
like
and
make
all.
you feel guilty, so you just shut the whole center down.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's wrong, because that's where you get a lot of your power. Like if you like, most of you have probably had perhaps intimacy with somebody, and like that energy in your body is creational. Like that is divine energy, and it's something that is so sacred and pure to human beings. So it's such a shame, but once you learn about it, you can take, you know, your power back.
You can make a human being out of it. I want to share too. It's like, you know, like for guys, and then she says, I'm home alone, and you know, you're gone. Like you'll do whatever it takes to be there. And it's like, that's crazy, you know? And now if you can harness that energy into, like, let's say you have a business and you take the same energy, I got to get this done. You know, you can get a lot of things done.
It's so, and like I've heard so many, like one of our teachers that we all share, she says that when she's creating things, she just like has like orgasms. Like it's just like birthing this beautiful creation. And it's like, wow, like I don't know, I can't even imagine, but like that's cool. It's beautiful. Like that's what the energy is supposed to be for, is this creational energy, and it's siphoned out of us for a reason. They don't want us to be, society, the government, the higher up people, they don't want us to be, you know, creating all these beautiful, insanely revolutionary things to support humanity, to make life better, to make life funner. They want life to be what it is, what they've made it out to be. So if they can use these porn websites and use these addictions and use all this stuff to suck our creational energy out of us and to leave us feeling horrible and guilty and ashamed of ourselves when we act in that sexual creative energy, then they're succeeding. And we, you know, like that's the sad cycle I think that humanity has kind of gotten lost in. So,
because why is porn free? You know, what are you paying?
Is it free?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you just type the thing and it's there. You know.
Yeah.
Hundreds and millions of videos. It's crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's not good.
Me to read these, girl?
Sure. Yeah. She has.
Yeah, guys. I'm just gonna read off some of my notes for the sacral, just so you guys can get an idea of just more of the distortions which are stuck in there. And then take note, please, in your journal as we go through all of the chakras, but take note of which distortions or wounds that you feel you might have within your body, within the chakras, as we talk about them. Because if you can take notes and then you can actually actively go in and heal those things, your life is going to change. Okay? We need to go in and do the inner work. So like the sacral is 8 to 14, like we were saying. So pay attention to those years when you're journaling. What happened to you in those years that you can remember trauma-wise, okay? Or anything that comes up, write it down, okay? The sacral chakra is the water of our soul, okay? Creative energy for self-enjoyment or exchange with others, okay? Flow is being alive in the moment, alive within the creation consistently, okay? Like these guys were just saying, if you have problems like manifesting or creating in your reality what you want and like your natural kind of soul mission that you're here to do, then this is going to be the first chakra that's probably blocking a lot of that process. They target this chakra, like Grace was saying, on purpose on this planet heavily. Okay. There's a lot of healing to do within this chakra. Some of the distortions within the sacral are fear of others, belief that relationships, love, and creation, money, projects, and children is painful. Okay, yeah, beliefs that love, because they do push that, is painful, right? and then like relationships with money and stuff like that. So difficult, any sexual related organ issues. So difficulty with any of your sexually related organs, like could be a sign that your sacral chakra has healing that needs to be done in inner, okay, like the energetic healing, so that those issues can go away physically. Shame, like King was saying, huge one for the sacral chakra. Okay, guilt would go along with that. Repression, like we talked about. Weirdness around sexuality. And then MK Ultra programming is a huge one. Like I was saying, the astral stuff, the TV, the radio waves. If you don't know what MK Ultra programming is, Google it. It's all over the internet. You can figure that out in 5 minutes. Yeah, so the whole like looking sexy, hot, being cool, wearing makeup 24/7, this is all MK Ultra attack from the government, specifically wanting women to act in those ways. And those souls are actually trapped in that MK Ultra programming of just like caring so much about that stuff. So let me just see social behaviors, forced environments. So these things like conditional exchange, social behaviors, forced environments like school, all calcify and dry up the creative juices. Okay, so this is all, getting clogged up in the sacral too. Like we're talking about repression sexually, but also repression when you're like forced to do anything you don't want to do, like work, like school. Okay, this like starts to numb you out to like what your soul truly wants to be doing and is here to do, till eventually we see people walking around like robots, living this life that they did not come here to live, living in a way that they are not meant to be naturally and divinely living, and all of these things, but that we're just so numbed out to it at that point. Like we can't even feel most people right now can't even feel their genitalia area. Guaranteed. Like if you can like tap into it, is there numbness? Like, can you feel that creational flow coming through? Because that's natural to feel that coming through. Like, the same feeling you'd feel when you see like someone like you're like, ooh, yeah, I really like her or him or whatever, right? Like that sexual flow coming up. That's the same feeling you're going to feel when like you're like Grace was saying, developing a project. If that was online, you'd still have that beautiful flow of your creational energy come up. But most people, like that center is fully locked down. It's already numbed out. There's so much trauma in there that there is no energy flow coming up.
And I kind of want to share, just because I'm a very visual person, so I'd like to like kind of give this picture to people of like the chakras. So imagine a river flowing throughout your body, and each chakras is like a pond, and in that pond there's a river that flows, and then if your chakra is blocked, that pond will be filled with like muck. It will be filled with like a bunch of trees, rocks, whatever, so that now let's say from the crown to the root, if you have blockages in each areas, instead of like a waterfall flowing, now it's just like tiny drops. So now like this is why now should we talk about why it's important to clear the chakras, especially for the sacral,
and how to clear it.
Why it's important? Well, the sacral is very, very targeted, like we've kind of been talking about. One thing I wanted to say too about the womb, because the womb is like you have no idea how targeted the womb is, especially if you're a woman. You are like gonna have a lot of pain in the womb, not just from yourself, but from all of the history and all of the lifetimes that you've lived as a woman, and all of the lifetimes that all of your ancestors have lived, because of how repressed and I don't know, there's just been so much repression for the feminine, and aggression against her sexuality and taking that from her. So it's a very painful experience for the feminine, for the womb, to not have that space held for it. So I would do what are some clearing techniques? One thing that I like to do is I call in the Holy Mother, and if you connect with any angelic beings or ascended masters, you could call them in and just imagine light coming into your womb and just see it like clearing the space out. Like you can see water flushing it out. You can see aquatic energy is very soothing for the feminine, like dolphins, whales, just the ocean. Like you can put on ocean sounds and like just kind of hold your belly and hold your womb and just like, I don't know, like even cry. Like it can kind of be like this grieving space because it has a lot of pain inside of it. But once you get clear of that, there is this incredible power, this incredible sacred technology, this incredible divine energy in the womb. And it is literally like, one time I had this incredible experience where I was in meditation and the womb literally became like this void, but it was like the universe, and it was like darkness, but all of these twinkling lights, and it was like echoing like sounds, like just like it's like so vast, like you cannot comprehend how much is inside of the womb. Like it's the portal to this planet. Like it is insane. So yeah, you could do that, use the light to pull that energy in, and yeah, just kind of give it love. Like we always say, you know, just give it love. I love you. Tell it that you're here now and that you fully support it. Yeah, because like Alyssa said too, I think she said this, the astral body in the womb space, you will get attacked in the womb, like in all of your bodies. The sexual energy wants to be siphoned out of you. So yeah, you can protect your space, command your space with light, with your voice, with you can even use symbols, like whatever feels good for you. But yeah, just initiate it, and yeah, you'll be guided. So those are some good practices. What are some practices you guys use?
I love that you brought up how the womb is the portal, because I totally believe that. And also I love that you shared the feminine aspect of it. So for me, for the masculine side, I think the biggest healing that I've done that has worked so far is really just holding space, and really just holding space for my body and myself and my emotion. You know, whenever a feeling comes up, just watch it. And, you know, I'm not even trying to hope that it goes away. I'm just watching it and just being that awareness in the watcher. And eventually, you know, like that pain is kind of like it has its own personality. Once it knows that, okay, I have been seen, I have been acknowledged, now I must go, you know. And now once you clear that space, then you can hold space for more people. And then that's the biggest thing with the masculine and feminine dynamics, right? The masculine, our job is to just hold space, not try to cling the feminine, not hold on to them, not take them, just hold space and just let them be. You know, it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, for me, you know, that's one of my biggest exercises, really just, you know, if in times of turbulence in any situation, I'll take a step back, breathe in, hold space. Okay, what's going on? And then once the, you know, however long it takes, you know, once I'm clear, then I move forward again. But yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah, guys. So for me, it'd be probably like do the healing work from those ages, right? When you were a teenager, find those traumas and then start doing inner child healing work. Like King is saying, hold space for those wounds. Don't try to heal them to get them away. Hold a loving space for them. Second thing that's helped me most, like I already just said, is the astral clearing. That's not something I'm going to describe on this podcast. Again, we have Astrano Regeneration where we do astral training. So if you guys are interested in learning that, then you can jump in our Astrano Regeneration container, which is like a small fee per month for you guys to have access to all of our training, meditations, full like quantum healing and daily active healing work that we're going to support you in and all of the leaders. And yeah, you guys will learn, you know, how to dissolve black karmic cords, dark karmic cords, because that's probably the biggest thing that's helped me with healing my astral body, is dissolving those karmic cords that have been created with every single sexual partner you've had, as well as any big trauma that you've had in your past that's connected to these centers that are blocking your creational life force and like flow of your soul. So yeah, you got to jump in that container to join us and do that, like, you know, in like intense quantum work. But we can definitely support you guys in that. And yeah, please like and subscribe this video if you're vibing with the fam, because it's going to help us with the algorithms. We love you guys so much. But yeah, I'll let Grace share here. But yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, we're feeling good, guys.
Yeah,
one thing about Astrano Regeneration is, to me, the way I see it is, you know how like you have this life and then every moment you're like traveling into the unknown. With the Astrano Regeneration, we're gonna give you the tools, the support, so you can ease way into your own being, into the depths of your parts. So it's gonna be amazing.
Get all the bodies cleared.
Yes, and we're fully supporting you there, like these guys have said. So it's a beautiful container, and we thank you so much for watching this video. Please connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Official Astrano, and please like and subscribe if you're here. We appreciate you.
God bless.
Thank you. Bye.